they always ask me, what was it like growing up in the Bronx? What was it like growing up in the Bronx? And I tell them, it was fucking bad. I'm sure the Bronx is a lovely place for rats the size of footballs. Welcome to Haunts, Graves, and Omens. My name is Fred Stewart. Welcome. And with me, as always, my lovely co-host.
Hi, it's me. It's Taylor.
Hi, Tam.
Hi.
And Spirit the Sheriff is down there somewhere.
She is passed the fuck out because we have had 3 days of dog shows. And we're both very tired.
Yeah.
It's exhausting.
Absolutely. And with us running cameras and sound is Marty Kellick.
No,
It's wrong camera.
I'm also very tired because I've had 3 days of donkey shows.
Okay, yeah.
You've been...
Did you take first?
Did you take first?
I never take first. I'm a giver, baby.
Yeah, that's gonna be a TikTok clip. Oh boy! So this is the second time for us recording this. We try to record this on our usual days, which are Fridays. And let me tell you, did not go to plan. So if you're seeing this,
It means it worked.
It means it worked. And if you're not seeing this, then
Fuck us, right?
then that means they've won. they finally found a way to try to silence me, but they fucking will keep trying, and I won't let them take me. You missed the mark, but
I was gonna say, Marty. I looked over at Marty like, buddy, are you gonna just switch to the mannequin?
I didn't even I'm slow.
he got real concerned.
Marty's
dude.
tired because of, as he said, the donkey show.
Yeah, dude.
Or as they call it in Sweden, the donkey shows.
Okay. All right. So fun news this week. James Webb Telescope saw lights on a planet. Some believed it to be an extraterrestrial origin. It's very fun. It was like 15 trillion miles away or something like that. It's very, very far out there.
And it's also very old light at that point. 'Cause it takes a while.
So it means that city is probably huge by now, and they're coming. They're coming to get us. There's nothing we can do to stop them. But I'm gonna scream again, and I just want you to know it's for a very important reason.
Okay.
Because a man, a man went on a rampage, which is always a good start. Which I don't know why this one, it didn't load correctly. So a man went on a rampage in Banfield, and I'm just gonna scream, just get out of my system. Killdozer lives. So a man was heavily intoxicated, and he went and stole a bobcat. And for those who don't know what a bobcat is, it's in Nebraska, by the way, so no surprise. But a man stole a bobcat, which is a small bulldozer-like vehicle. He then drove it into a liquor store, which is always a really good start.
Tight.
Then he attacked an ATM with it, which is also really fun. And then the police showed up, and then he began to use the bobcat against the police cruiser.
Oh.
And just for a brief moment in time, Marvin Heemeyer was back with us, dude. He was with us, dude. That man's.
So I could see the headline when you pulled it up, and my first thought was not a tractor of some sort,
but an actual bobcat. Yeah, so
he just took a fucking wildcat into Home Depot and was like, fuck all of you.
Yeah,
just
dude.
let it go. I was like,
Just
what
let
the
12
fuck is
bobcats
happening?
loose in that.
So he attacked parked cars, storefronts, things like that. Lancaster County Correctional Jail records say that 36-year-old Samuel Payrot was arrested on multiple charges, including second-degree assault and criminal mischief in connection with the destruction spree that happened just 5 days ago. So basically, they call around 2:30 to a U-Stop convenience store. Reports of a man in a skid loader vandalizing vehicles with the machine. Additional calls start coming in by the nearby Home Depot parking lot, saying that he was driving a fucking bobcat around. When the first officer arrived on scene, the man turned the skid loader towards the cruiser and rammed it while the officer was inside, damaging the cruiser. The officer is fine. Police said the officer got out of his vehicle, demanded he get out of the bobcat, and he just said, "All right," and he got out and he was arrested. So
that'd be tight though. Like if he instead just said, "Catch me if you can," and proceeded to drive 5 miles an hour because bobcats are really slow.
They're so slow. He's like, "You're never kidding me." It's open cage. Like, just walk up, they're just pepper spraying him the entire time. He's like, just like slamming into more cars.
I still like the idea of an actual bobcat in a Home Depot.
Yeah. I know a cat named Bob.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. I don't know. I'm fucking. It's like 6 o'clock at night.
We're losing.
I want to release a bunch of bees in the small bus.
Okay.
The one that the homeless people live in downtown.
What?
That's very specific.
I don't think you're allowed to do that.
You can do whatever you want. You know, it's a free country.
Goddamn right. God bless, dude. God bless America, dude. But I just wanted to yell that Killdozer lives, because Killdozer does live.
Yeah.
Right here.
In your heart?
Always.
No, right behind my armor plating.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Makes sense.
If you got any leads on a Komatsu bulldozer, let me know. I am interested in the market. Now, what?
I don't think you need one. I'm starting an argument that's going to have to be finished.
That was really good. I didn't know what to say to you. I was just highly offended that you didn't say that. I don't want you to just crush my dreams like that ever again on the show, dude. That was fucked up. That was like I usually don't want to fight with you on the show, dude, but I find that super fucked up that you would even that she would even consider saying that I don't need a Komatsu bulldozer, dude. You don't know what I need. Minicam. Marty, my dear friend, hit that shit.
Hit it.
You didn't even ask if we were ready to get into it.
Well, I was about to.
Well, you took too long.
Are you ready to get into it?
No.
Too fucking bad, because by the time we finish it's going to be late. All right. Hi. What's going on? So, you guys know the facts of the case, so I can't ask you. Do you guys know anything about this case? Have a fun little banter back and forth? Because you guys now know the entire facts of the case, because we were almost done by the time the recording failed.
Happens.
And lost everything. So, I'll just give it to you, my dear listeners and watchers. My ghosts and ghouls, if you will. Haven't called them that in a while, but my ghosts and ghouls. This individual is known for their 6 murders, 7 attempted murders, and their use of a .44 Magnum, and their series of cryptic and horrific letters that they would send later on. This is the story of David Berkowitz, a.k.a. the Son of Sam. Ooh. So, David Berkowitz, born Richard David Falco on June 1st, 1953 in Brooklyn, New York City. I gotta squish my body when I do that. It's like when we did the Linda Napolitano episode.
Yeah.
No, it's like, aliens? No, I'm Linda. Like that same kind of vibe way that's gonna squish my body. Anyway, within a few days of his birth, his biological mother, Elizabeth Betty Broder, gave the child away.
Oh.
Just like saw a pigeon outside, said, "This is your kid now, take it." Carried him off into the distance. No. So, Broder had grown up as a part of an impoverished family and working as a waitress. In 1936, she had married Tony Falco, an Italian-American. After the marriage of less than 4 years, Falco left for another woman. Fucked up. Now, the infant, known as Richard at the time, was adopted by Pearl and Nathan Berkowitz of the Bronx. The couple were hardware store retailers of modest means and childless in their middle age. They reversed the order of the boy's first and middle names and gave him their own surname, raising the young David Richard Berkowitz as their own child. Journalist John Vincent Sanders wrote that Berkowitz's childhood was somewhat troubled. Fucking surprise. Yeah. The guy who would go on to commit a series of murders had a troubled childhood.
Yeah,
I know.
That's
Shocking.
never happened.
Shocking. Never.
We've never heard of this.
Never heard of it. Although of above average intelligence, he lost interest in his education at an early age and became infatuated with petty larceny and starting fires, which, off to a start, kind of cool. Like, you know, like, Marty, like, if you're a little kid, you're like 10,
Yeah.
and you're like, friends like, hey, I fucking stole this candy bar and this lighter. You're like, it's kind of cool, dude.
Yeah.
Kid's kind of cool, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, now when he starts murdering people, that's bad.
I was the kid before the murdering. I was stealing lighters and candy bars, mostly candy bars.
Now he's just an adult that murders.
No, I'm just an adult that steals candy bars.
Of course.
Steals too many candy bars.
Yeah.
Now, anyway, it's low-hanging fruit, the ones that you don't eat.
Yeah. If they put me in jail, I hope to be behind candy bars.
Anyway, he suffered head injuries as a child, which we've talked about before in the show, which is a common trope that you see with serial killers, that they get some sort of frontal lobe damage, which damages a part of the brain where they can feel empathy and feel things a normal fucking way. And then they'll go on to kill later on because they don't feel things like a normal person, and their brain's all wacky. Neighbors and relatives would call Berkowitz as difficult, spoiled, and a bully. His adoptive parents consulted at least one psychotherapist due to his misconduct, but his misbehavior never resulted in legal intervention or serious mention in his school records.
Even as an adult, David Berkowitz looks like he bullied people.
Yeah, I don't know. I just he's got
a look about him that tells me he was a bully when he was younger.
He's got a face like a bowling pin.
I mean, fair. Yeah.
He's got a. I just don't know. Go look at the Instagram. I don't know how to describe him other than the fact that he has a face like a bowling pin. He just looks like I'm about to split lanes and shit. Like he just got this
that
weird.
Makes me want to make like a David Berkowitz like bowling animation now.
like those really
the fucked
up
ones
where it's like spare and it's like a plane flying in between the towers. yeah, that kind of shit. Yeah, where you're like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, those are pretty comical. What's not comical was Berkowitz's adopted mother died of breast cancer when he was 14 years old, and his home life became strained years later, particularly because he disliked his adoptive father's second wife. Berkowitz lived with his father while attending Christopher Columbus High School, graduating in 71. Shout out class 71, dude. What's up? Whoop, whoop. And called for a in a 4.5 room apartment at 170 Dreiser Loop in Co-op City from 1976 to 1971. In 1971, at the age of 17, Berkowitz joined the U.S. Army and served at Fort Knox, the United States, with the Infantry Division in South Korea. So he is in there for a little bit, and then he gets a dishonorable discharge in June of 1974. He locates his birth mother, Betty. After a few visits, she discloses the details of his birth. This news greatly disturbs Berkowitz, and he was particularly distraught by the array of reluctant father figures in his life. And the first time we ran through this, that really caught my attention, but now rereading everything again, I feel like he's already starting to spiral.
Yeah.
It's very slow.
Oh, yeah, no.
It's very slow. It's barely noticeable. Maybe he fucking yells at people in the grocery store. Maybe.
Right.
He's just starting to the fuse has been lit.
Yeah.
And it's slowly starting to burn. So, forensic anthropologist Elliot Layton described Berkowitz's discovery of his birth details as the primary crisis in his life, a revelation that shattered his sense of identity. His communication with his birth mother later lapsed. For a time, he remained in communication with his adoptive sister, Rosalind. Berkowitz then went on and attended the Bronx Community College for 1 year, enrolling in the spring of 75. In 76, he went to work as a driver in the Co-op City taxi company, and he subsequently had non-professional jobs. And at the time of his arrest, he was working as a letter sorter for the United States Postal Service back the blue. Am I right?
That's not what that means.
That's absolutely what that means.
That is absolutely not what that means.
It's our men and women in blue.
Marty, is that what that means?
Okay.
Great commentary.
Hey, that's why we have him on the show, dude. You know?
He's not here to start fights, but I am.
Yeah, dude. She's gonna beat me with a fucking belt after this.
I am not.
Oh, I mean, she's gonna use her fist, dude. So basically, he starts driving this taxi cab in the spring of '75, and getting into the late of 1975 is when shit starts getting a little sideways. Berkowitz claims that when he was 22 years old, he committed his first attack on Christmas Eve of 1975. Two women were walking down. A woman was walking down in a street in Co-op City. She was never identified by police, but he said that he walked up to. I'm getting way ahead of myself. He walked up to the first victim, and the second victim was Michelle Foreman, a sophomore from Truman High School. He walks up to them and he stabs them right there on the street. Their injuries were significant enough that they were hospitalized for a week, but eventually they were released and they did survive. Berkowitz was not suspected of those crimes, and soon afterward he relocated to an apartment in Yonkers, just a brief distance away. Then we have this cool down period where he did his first attack and it didn't work out the way he envisioned. We go from December of 1975 to July of 76, a considerable jump.
Yeah,
right?
about 6-ish months.
Where he's building up. The first shooting that's attributed to Berkowitz occurred in the Pelham Bay neighborhood of the Bronx. At about 1:10 a.m. on July 29, 1976, Donna Loria, an emergency medical technician, and her friend Jody Valenti, a nurse, were sitting in Valenti's double-parked Oldsmobile discussing their evening at Peachtree's, a New Rochelle nightclub essentially.
Yeah.
Loria opened the car door to leave and suddenly noticed a man quickly approaching. Startled and angered by the man's sudden appearance, she says, in the most New York way possible, "Now what is this?" Which is the fucking. It's still. It's really off of what happens next, but it is the funniest part of her. It is the most New York thing where she not only sees this guy coming up, not knowing who this man is, gets startled, and she's like, "Oh shit," like a normal person would. But then she's like, "Hey, buddy, fuck you!" Get the fuck out of here, you know? Which is super gangster. So she Loria says, "Now what is this?" The man then pulls a gun out of a paper bag that he carried, and he crouches down, bracing one elbow on his knee. He aims his weapon with both hands, and he fires. Loria was struck by one bullet that kills her instantly. Valenti was shot in her thigh, and a third bullet missed both women. The shooter then simply stood up, turned around, and walked away.
Which is wild.
Which is fucking spooky.
Yeah.
So Valenti survived her injury and said that she did not recognize the killer. She described him as a white male in his 30s with fair complexion, about 5 feet 8 inches tall, weighing about 200 pounds. His hair was short, dark, and curly in a mod style as described. This description was repeated by Loria's father, who had claimed to have seen a similar man sitting in a yellow compact car parked nearby. Neighbors gave corroborating reports to the police that an unfamiliar yellow compact car had been seen cruising around the area hours prior to the shooting.
Yeah.
Years later, in 1993, and then Prison Berkowitz admitted in an interview to a journalist that he had been the one who had shot the two girls.
I mean, I believe it.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely believe it, but it's crazy that it took that long because I mean, who knows if it would have ever truly been solved,
yeah.
So we go from July of 76 to October 23rd of 1976.
Okay.
So just a few months later.
Okay.
On October 23rd, 1976, a similar shooting occurred in a secluded residential area of Flushing, Queens, next to Bound Park. Carl Denaro, a Citibank security guard, and Rosemary Keenan, a Queens college student, were sitting in Keenan's car when the windows just suddenly shatter. He said in a quote, "I felt like the car exploded." Keenan quickly started the car and sped away for help. The panicked couple did not realize that someone had even been shooting at them.
Oh.
Even though Denario was bleeding from a bullet wound to his head. He got shot in the head. Keenan had only had superficial injuries from the broken glass, but Denario eventually needed a metal plate to replace a portion of his skull. Neither victim saw their attacker, which would become an ongoing trend throughout the rest of this episode.
Right.
Punch my mic. Police determined that the bullets embedded in Keenan's car were that of a .44 caliber. They were so deformed that it was unlikely that they could ever be linked to a particular weapon.
Okay.
Ballistically, I assume they probably just mushroomed out in a certain way, or they fragmented too poorly. But because Denario had shoulder-length hair, police speculated the shooter had mistaken him for a woman. Which, I don't know if that was them just roasting this guy, or because, like, they don't know anything about Son of Sam yet. They have no idea. So they're like, "Part thought you were a girl." And he's like, "I got shot in the fucking head.
Doesn't matter.
What the fuck you talking about? I got shot in the head." You know, like... But it is wild that it's actually pretty gangster. This dude got shot in the head and then was just like, "That was crazy. Did you see that shit?"
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Oh yeah, we should go handle that. Like, go get that taken care of." But it's like, you got shot in the head, dude, by a .44, and he's just chilling.
Yeah.
Pretty
I
wild.
mean, adrenaline does things. Like
Yeah,
that,
oh man.
though.
Yeah, it does. So Keenan's father was a police veteran for the New York City Police Department, NYPD, if you will, causing an intense investigation. As with the Loria Valenti shooting, however, there seemed to not be any tangible motive for the shooting. Police made little progress with the case. Many details of the Denario Keenan shooting were similar to that Loria Valenti case, but police did not associate them right away, partly because the shootings occurred in completely different boroughs and were investigated by different precincts.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It makes sense. Like, it's just a random acts of violence across New York. Like,
yeah.
I mean, we looked it up. There was like, what, 1 million people living in fucking New York in the 70s?
I think it was 3.
No, it was 8.
Was it 8?
8 million people living in New York City. Yeah, dude. Like,
They don't.
I guarantee by the time we finish this episode, I guarantee there's like probably 10 different shootings.
Probably.
Within New York City. High school students, I'm jumping ahead. So just a short time later, next month, it's now it's November of 76, high school students Donna DeMasi and Joanne Lomino walked home from a movie shortly after midnight, November 27, 1976. They were chatting on the porch of Lomino's home in Floral Park when a young man dressed in military fatigues approached them and began to ask for directions, which I'm sure was highly concerning at the time, but I mean, it does seem very innocent. He gets close enough. He's just like asking questions like, "Hey, just need some directions about what?" And he's like, I got to do a David Berkowitz, directions about something, because he's got this high pitched fucking voice. But it gets. This is just the most terrifying part. He basically is like asking for directions, and a high pitched voice, his nasally high pitched voice. He goes, "Can you tell me how to get to?" And then he quickly pulls out a fucking revolver. And he shoots each of the victims once, and as they fall to the ground injured, he fires several more times, striking the house before running away. A neighbor hears the gunshots, rushes out of his house, saw a blonde man run past gripping a pistol in his left hand. Damasi was shot in the neck, but the wound was not life-threatening, and Lomino was hit in the back and hospitalized in serious condition, and she was ultimately rendered as a paraplegic because of the shooting.
Jeez.
But they survived.
Yeah.
But it is horrifying.
It is horrifying.
Just mind your business after seeing a movie. What movie came out in 76? You know, like...
I don't know.
Like, let me take a look. fucking there's Clint Eastwood, maybe the town that dreaded sundown or something.
Yeah.
You know, maybe saw a fun movie and then you're just talking with your friend about it, like, oh, that one scene, and then all of a sudden this dude just comes up and starts fucking putting 44 rounds into you for no reason.
Murder by death. Let's see, Sasquatch.
Oh yeah, Sasquatch, classic fucking
Kurt Russell's
Carrie.
The Longest
Carrie?
Drive.
That's probably, honestly, Carrie's probably what people were.
Yeah, probably. I mean,
right
who
around
knows?
then.
Snuff.
Nice. So there is a brief cooling up period, and none of these so far have been linked to Berkowitz, because please don't even know who the fuck David Berkowitz even is. 2 months go by, and we arrive to January 30th, 1977. It's 12:40 a.m. Secretary Christine Freund and her fiance bartender John Deal were sitting in Deal's car near the Forest Hills LIRR station in Queens, preparing to drive to a local dance hall after seeing the movie Rocky. 3 gunshots penetrate the car out of nowhere, just in the dark. In a panic, Deal drove away for help. He sustained minor superficial injuries, but for him was shot twice and died several hours later in the hospital. Again, neither victim saw their attacker. Police made their first acknowledgement that the Freund Deal shooting was similar to earlier incidents, and that the crimes might be connected. It's burping away. All the victims had been struck with .44 caliber bullets, and the shootings seemed to have targeted young women with long dark hair. NYPD Sergeant Richard Conlon stated the police were leaning towards a connection in all these cases. They start working on composite sketches, and they released those to composite sketches were released of the black hair Luria Valenti suspect and the blonde Lamino Damasi suspect. And Conlon noted that police were looking at multiple suspects, not just one. So they believe that it was a team effort, if you will.
I'm in the camp that it was not a team effort, and that he maybe for whatever reason he was just wearing a wig. I don't know. Yeah,
I mean that's highly likely, but it is kind of weird that he was wearing fatigues. I mean, he was in the military, but it's like usually those have your name on it. You know?
I don't know, man. I mean, also it's not that hard to take off like embroidery with a seam ripper or something.
Yeah, I don't think he was super familiar with that.
I don't know. It's not that hard to take off embroidery.
That's fair, but
like he could have figured it out.
He could have probably figured it out, but so again, 2 months goes by. There's a brief cooling off period, right? We come to March 8th, 1977. It's 7:30 p.m. Columbia University student Virginia man, I fucking butchered this last time too. Voskorichian, yes, was walking home from school and was confronted by an armed man. She lived about a block away from where the Freund had been the shooting had taken place. Despite in a desperate move to defend herself, she lifted her textbooks between herself and the killer, trying to make a makeshift shield. The shooter fires anyway, and the bullet strikes her head and ultimately kills her. Again, nobody really knows anything about. Yeah. No one saw where the person went. There's no connections. It's all over the place. And 2 days goes by, and on March 10th, 1977, at a press conference, NYPD officials and Mayor Abraham Beam declared that the same .44 caliber Bulldog revolver had fired the shots that killed Luria and Voskorichian. Official documents were later revealed, however, saying that while police strongly suspected that the same .44 Bulldog had been used in the shootings, the evidence was actually quite inconclusive. So it's like, it probably is, but it's
I think they were just trying to put some fear out there, like in the person specifically doing it.
Yeah,
to be like, we know it's the same dude.
Yeah.
We're watching. We know. I think maybe it was just like a tactic to be like,
yeah, but
hey.
I mean, I don't know.
we know that it's the same. Maybe hoping like he'll slip up or something.
Yeah, I think it was mainly just like I don't really know. I can't really fathom why they would even add that advert. Be like, I would just say like, hey, all these are connected, and then we know that it's a 44. I feel like that's something you want to save, and not tell the public. It's like one of those things where they're like, don't reveal certain things about murders.
Yeah.
That way they can look later on. But
this is also the 70s. So.
That's true. Yeah, all these cops were absolutely high on cocaine.
We know, we've talked about it plenty of times, but it's like
crimes don't get solved in the 70s.
Yeah, like in the 70s,
unless it's done by the FBI.
70s and before, you're probably in the fucking clear half the time.
Yeah, it's true.
Like,
so the crimes, the spree so far, were discussed by local media like every single day, damn near. Circulation increased dramatically for the New York Post and the Daily News. Tabloid newspapers with graphic crime reporting and commentary. Foreign media featured on many of the reports as well, including the front page of newspapers in the fucking Vatican, a Hebrew newspaper, and the Soviet based newspaper. Like, it was everywhere that this was happening. Now, this is kind of like the Berserker mode era, right? Where he's like hit, right? And then we get to April. So we get to the next month. It's now April 17, 1977. It's 3 a.m. Alexander S.U., a tow truck operator, and Valentia Serrani, a layman college student, an aspiring actress and model, was sitting in a car belonging to S.U.'s brother on the Hutchinson River Parkway Service Road in the Bronx, about a block away from Serrani's home, and only a few blocks away from the scene of the Luria Valenti shooting.
Oh.
A resident of a nearby building hears 4 shots ring out into the dark. They call police. Serrani was sitting in the driver's seat, was shot once. S.U. shot twice, both in the head. Serrani died on the scene, and S.U. died in the hospital several hours later without ever being able to describe his attacker or attackers. Police said the weapon used for the crime was the same that was suspected in the earlier shootings. And in 1993, again, in the same interview, Berkowitz admitted,
"Yeah,
that was me."
Surprise.
Yeah, took him. It's just crazy how fucking long it took.
I wonder if there was speculation, but nothing to tie him.
Probably, I would assume. So this is where we go into May. It is all but quiet in the grand scheme of things for Son of Sam. Well, soon to be Son of Sam, that is. Police discover a handwritten handwritten letters of near the bodies of S.U. and Serrani, written in mostly block capitals with a few lowercase letters addressing to NYPD Captain Joseph Borelli. With this letter, Berkowitz identified himself as the Son of Sam for the very first time. The press had previously dubbed the killer the .44 caliber killer because of his weapon of choice. The letter was initially withheld from the public, but some of its contents were revealed to the press, like the name of Son of Sam quickly replaced the old name. And with that, I'm going to read that letter in full while I take out my Zin.
All
right. Let me just get a little
sippy sip.
Wet the palate. And I'm going to read it to you. I'm going to read it exactly as it's written, all the misspellings and everything. I am deeply hurt by you calling me a Weeman hater. I am not.
You are, but whatever.
But I am a monster. I am the Son of Sam. I am a little brat. When Father Sam gets drunk, he gets mean. He beats his family. Sometimes he ties me up onto the back of the house. Other times he locks me in the garage. Sam loves to drink blood. Go out and kill, he commands, Father Sam. Behind our house some rest, mostly young, raped and slaughtered. Their blood drained, just bones now. Papa Sam keeps me locked in the attic too. I can't get out, but I look in the attic window and watch the world go by. I feel like an outsider. I am on a different wavelength than anybody else, programmed to kill. That's spelled with T-O-O. So,
okay.
Yeah. Maybe not. I think that might be the correct way. I don't know. I'm reading the wrong thing. Never mind. Don't worry about it. However, to stop me, you must kill me. Attention all police. Shoot me first. Shoot to kill or else. Keep out of my way or you will die. Papa Sam is old now. He needs some blood to preserve his youth. He's had too many heart attacks. Too many heart attacks. Ugh! Me hoot, it hurts, sonny boy. I miss my pretty princess most of all. She's resting in Our Lady's house, but I will see her soon. I am the monster, Beelzebub, the Chubby Behemoth. I love to hunt. That part makes me laugh every time. The Chubby Behemoth. Prowling the streets for fair game, tasty meat. The women of Queens are the prettiest of all. I must be the water they drink. I live for the hunt, my life. Blood for Papa, Mr. Borelli, sir. I don't want to kill anymore, no, sir. No, I must. Honor thy father. I want to make love to the world. I love people. I don't belong on earth. Return me to Yahoos. To the people of Queens, I love you. And I want to wish you all a happy Easter. May God bless you in this life and the next. For now, I say goodbye and good night. May God bless you in this life and in the next. For now, I say goodbye, good night, police. Let me haunt you with these words. I will be back. I will be back, as interpreted as bang, 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 bank, bang, ugh. Yours in murder, Mr. Monster.
So, if I remember correctly, this guy actually has a fairly high IQ.
Yes.
Which is, so...
He's incredibly intelligent, but he's also like... He's in his fucking full-blown berserker mode right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, you can tell because, I mean, like, the misspellings, the ramblings, like, this is a intelligent man that, it's been determined he was an intelligent... is he still around? Is he still alive? He died?
He's probably dead.
That he was an intelligent man, but the misspellings, you were correct. The use of his two, where it's TOO, is not right.
Oh, I have some news, but I'm gonna save it to the end.
All right. So he's got these misspellings. He's got these wild fucking words that he's saying. You can tell he's in his like full blown like mania. Like,
yeah, because like it's a very Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde situation.
Yeah.
I feel like, especially in this letter.
Yeah.
Once we get to the other ones, spoiler alert, we'll talk about how it changes because he goes like, I must kill. I am the devil. I am Beelzebub. And then like he's like, I don't want to kill. Please kill me. I don't want to kill anymore. Which is like it's fucking horrifying.
It is.
It's horrifying. This is one of the scariest letters I've ever read. The only one that's scary. This is the Zodiac letters.
Yeah.
That's the ones that gives me fucking chills every time I read. It's just like whenever it's the way the Zodiac does his. We're like, this is the Zodiac speaking.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, this is the same way where it's like, I am son of Sam. But in reality, it'd be like, I am son of Sam.
Yeah. No, it's
son of Sam.
It's still pretty terrifying, though.
Give me 2 shoes. I got 2 shoes. But it's really funny when he goes through, he interpreted it as bang, 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 bank, bang. Did he miss?
I don't know.
Or did he hit like? Did he already fire that round? So it's like click, and he's like fuck, bang. You know, like I don't know. It is weird.
I almost wonder if he just misspelled it and then didn't give a fuck on like going back and trying to correct anything.
Yeah, he was like, "Fuck, I gotta rewrite."
He was like,
they gotta rewrite all this shit.
You know what? Like he's writing it in pen, so he can't erase anything.
Yeah, he's like, God damn it! They're gonna think they're like, does this say K or is that a G? They're like, I think it's a K, and he's like, no, dude, it was supposed to be a G. Fuck, dude. It's all mad. Comes in, he's like, that was me. Rewrite this, dude.
Do you think that the police had a little chuckle about him calling himself the Chubby Behemoth?
No, I think they were probably terrified. I bet they were like, because like they find these 2 dead, basically children, You know,
Yeah.
they're like teenagers. They're adults, but they're
Yeah.
like almost basically kids. And then like they're just like a horrific crime scene with just blood and gore, and they're like, Chubby Behemoth. You know, like I can't imagine. Like I bet they were like probably like, what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah, that's like.
Yeah. Because I can see, because you gotta think of this story through the eyes of an NYPD detective.
Yeah.
You know, where they're like anywhere else they'd be like, what is this guy doing? Like this guy's next level. We don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, NYPD in the 70s are like, look at that fucking prick. Like,
yeah.
Chubby Behemoth? Fuck you, buddy. You know,
like I don't understand like that term specifically.
Chubby Behemoth.
Yeah, like because
he is chubby. Yeah,
but at the same time, he also calls himself Beelzebub, and I don't feel like anyone called Beelzebub the Chubby Behemoth.
No, I don't think he's calling. We had this conversation.
I feel
last time
because he is calling himself.
He says,
Beelzebub.
"I am the monster."
Yeah.
Also known as Beelzebub.
Yeah. So
also known as the Chubby Behemoth.
Right. So he's calling himself Beelzebub.
Yeah, but I think it's an all-encompassing thing where he's like, "I am these three things." Versus like
maybe.
This thing means this thing, which means this thing.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's just fucking weird. He's a weird dude.
Yeah, I don't know. He's weird. He's a little. I'm gonna skip a little out of pocket. All right. I think this guy's a real piece of work.
I thought you were gonna say he's a bit quirky.
This guy's got a couple quirks in him. All right. I
didn't know where you were going.
I hope that didn't offend anybody, but
I think you guys.
I think this guy's
this guy's just not all there.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't want to offend anyone in this room, but I think this guy's a real goofball.
Yeah. He's quite the jive turkey.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
I don't think that.
I mean, he's like shaped like a turkey, I guess. But anyway, at the time, police speculated that the letter writer may be familiar with Scottish English. The phrase "me hoot it hurts, sonny boy" was taken as a Scottish accented version of "my heart it hurts, sonny boy." The police hypothesized that the shooters blamed dark-haired nurse for his father's death due to the "too many heart attacks" phrase, but that the facts that Luria was a medical technician, Valenti was studying to be a nurse, but I feel like there's absolutely no fucking way that Berkowitz knew that.
I don't. I think he was just, and we talked about this, but I feel like he's just going after like a specific criteria. He's not going after like looks wise, at least. He's going for that kind of criteria. He's not going for like people of a specific profession because how the fuck would he know that?
Yeah.
Like, I think he was just circling and waiting for someone who matched what he was looking for.
Well, it's like when he shot that other couple too. It was like when the guy had long hair, like had hair like me, fucking long hair, long brown hair, and then he shot him.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, probably thought you were a girl.
Yeah.
Which, why you rip it on that guy in the first place? But come on.
I think, yeah. But I don't think there's any way he knew.
I think that is technically true. I think he just like saw the hair and was like fucking, and then just started putting rounds in.
I don't think he was specifically looking for a nurse, because none of his other victims
are nurses,
are in the medical profession. Like, he's just looking for like a look, essentially.
And we talked about this when we were previously tried this.
Yeah.
Was that you were saying that you believe that it has to do with his stepmom.
I think there is someone in his life.
Yeah.
That I 100% believe that David Berkowitz is a woman hater. Honestly,
he says he's not. And listen, Taylor, do I need to read the letter again?
Listen,
his rambling letter.
Not.
He said he's not a women hater.
Well, that's not a woman hater. That's a weeman hater.
Yeah.
He's not a weeman hater. He's a woman hater.
He doesn't hate Wee Man, the skateboarder and Jackass star and owner of the famous taco shop.
Nobody hates Wee Man.
Nobody hates Wee Man.
Except for David Berkowitz.
Well, no, he's not.
He says he's not a Wee Man hater.
He's not a Wee Man hater.
Yeah. He is, however, a woman hater, and I will stand by that 100%.
You're probably right on that.
So I think that he has someone in his life, whether it's his stepmom or even his mom,
Yeah.
They ended up falling out as well, where he,
Yeah, especially
stopped
after he learned
talking
the
to her
facts of the
and
case of his like mother banning banning him, and
after his father abandoned her. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like there's definitely someone in his life that
yeah,
has long dark hair
absolutely.
that he's attributing his choices to, whether that is subconsciously or not.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know.
But I do think he's a woman hater, and I think there's someone in his life that has long dark hair, because it's a little too specific.
Oh, totally.
And in all of the cases, it's at least one woman, if not two.
Yeah.
He's not really going after men. I think the men are just
Collateral damage.
yeah,
In a I can't think of a better word than that.
like yeah, they're just there.
They're just there.
Where I think he probably maybe thought it was a woman,
Mhm.
but I think the other one, the woman fit the criteria, but she was with a dude. So unfortunately,
Yeah,
he went for both.
that's true.
You know,
I feel like that's correct. Yeah.
I think it's too specific of a like modus operandi, essentially.
Yeah. So the killer's unusual attitude towards the police and the media received widespread scrutiny. Psychologists observed that many serial killers gain gratification by eluding pursuers and observers. The feeling of control over media, law enforcement, and even entire populations provides a source of social power for them. After consulting with several psychiatrists, police released a psychological profile of the suspect in May 26 of 1977. He was described as neurotic, surprisingly, who, believe this or not, had paranoid schizophrenia and believed himself to be a victim of demonic possession,
Well,
which we'll actually get to later on.
I think that's just part of the 70s satanic panic.
Yeah.
You know,
oh
like-
yeah, totally. And we talked about this last time. Was that I want to do a whole thing about the satanic panic
Yeah.
and like really dive into it, because I find the satanic panic fascinating, because we still have the residual satanic panic. It's
do.
slowly starting to fade away now,
Yeah.
but like we now have like in Indiana they actually have like the satanic like Baphomet statue and shit. Like the world is healing, you know.
I definitely think like
That's coming from your favorite Satanist, me.
I definitely think it has to do with the satanic panic that was going
totally.
on around there.
Totally.
Like, I think that has a lot to do with it. And I think maybe that because of details later in the case, it makes me feel like he was falling for it. And if he was a paranoid schizophrenic,
Yeah, he's like, there must be a demon in me.
yeah. He was like, no, that you know, that makes a lot of sense.
That makes a lot of sense. That checks out. So, after they receive this letter at the crime scene, they get to May 30th, 1977. Daily News columnist Jimmy Breslin receives a handwritten letter from someone who claimed to be the 44 killer. The letter was postmarked early the same day in Englewood, New Jersey. On the reverse of the envelope, neatly handprinted in 4 precise centered lines, were the words blood and family, darkness and death, absolute depravity, 44 caliber, .44. Right. And the letter read as this. This is the one that freaks me out the most, I feel like.
Yeah.
Hello from the gutters of New York City, which are filled with dog manure, vomit, stale wine, urine, and blood. Hello from the sewers of New York City, which swallowed up all these delicacies when they were washed away by the sweeper trucks. Hello from the cracks in the sidewalks of New York City, where the ants that dwell in these cracks and feed on the dried blood of the dead that have settled into the cracks. JB. I'm just dropping you a line to let you know that I appreciate your interest in those recent and horrendous 44 caliber killings. I also wanted to tell you that I read your column daily, and I find it quite informative. Tell me, Jim, what will you have for July 29th? You can forget about me if you like, because I don't care for publicity. However, you must not forget Donna Loria And you cannot let people forget her either. She was a very, very sweet girl, but Sam's a thirsty lad, and he won't let me stop killing until he gets his fill of blood. Mr. Breslin, sir, I don't think that because you haven't heard from me in a while that I went to sleep. No, rather, I'm still here. Like a spirit roaming the night, thirsty, hungry, seldom stopping to rest, anxious to please Sam. I love my work. Now the void has been filled. Perhaps we shall meet face to face someday, or perhaps I will be blown away by the cops with smoking 38s. Whatever, I shall be fortunate enough to meet you. I'll tell you all about Sam if you like, and I'll introduce you to him. His name is Sam the Terrible. Not knowing what the future holds, I shall say farewell, and I'll see you on the next job. Or should I say, you should see my handiwork at the next job. Remember, Miss Loria, thank you. In their blood from the gutter, Sam's creation. 44 here are some of the names to help you along. 4 of them to an inspector for the use by NCIC, the Duke of Death, the Wicked King Wicker, the 22 disciples of Hell, John Wheaties, rapist and suffocator of young girls. P.S. Please inform all the detectives working the slaying to remain. P.S. J.B. Inform all the detectives working the case that I wish them the best of luck. Keep them digging, drive on, think positive, get off your butts and knock on coffins, etc. Upon my capture, I promise to buy all the guys working the case a brand new pair of shoes if I can get up the money. Son of Sam. Underneath Son of Sam was a logo or sketch that combined several symbols. It's very creepy.
Yeah.
Also, why do you keep adding PS? Just fucking write the rest of it. You've already added the PS. Also, it would be PSS. Pretty sure.
Is it PS or PPS?
I don't fucking know. I don't care. I don't think I've ever in my adult life fucking wrote the words PS. I don't think I've ever wrote a fucking letter, a handwritten letter in my adult life.
I haven't.
I don't write letters anymore.
Well, this was also the 70s, so
yeah,
they wrote letters a lot more.
It's true.
But also, I'm fairly certain, if I remember correctly, it's like PS, PPS, like PPPS.
Oh, I heard PSS.
I
Let us know in the comments. I have no idea.
I don't know. I'm trying to remember.
When was the last time you wrote a letter? Was it in May of 1970 something?
I was not around then. It was probably like 2010, maybe.
The last time I remember writing a letter was in 3rd grade. We had pen pals with the old folks home. And I got a random old lady that I sent letters to. Her name was Rose, and she was very sweet. And then when she showed up, I showed her my favorite books, and then she gave me candy.
It's nice of her.
Yeah. And then she fucking died.
Oh my god. I mean,
she's probably dead now. She was like, that was a long time ago. It's just Rose, if you're still alive, hit me up, dude. Get some beers or something. There's no way she's alive.
The last time I wrote a letter was like, might have been like 5th grade, so 2011. I don't fucking remember.
Was that when you were writing your manifesto?
No, that was when we wrote letters to another school, and we got paired up with someone and we wrote letters back and forth.
Guess fucking stupid. Your school's dumb.
I wrote a letter a few years ago to my buddy in prison.
Yeah?
Oh, he's not in prison anymore, but he was in prison.
Which buddy is that? Is that the buddy I know?
Oh, he lives in Arizona.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was the other buddy we know.
Yeah. No.
Thought it was the one who like.
I didn't know him until he was out of prison.
I thought it was the buddy who his first words out of his mouth were, "I went to prison for stabbing a guy."
Yeah.
Yeah. Love that guy.
Yeah.
It's a good dude. Plays good music too. Anyway, the writer's question. They gotta live, by the way. I don't want to just leave that. The guy is alive. All right, fought him in a fight and he stabbed the guy. It's a very complicated story. The writer's question to what will you have for July 29th was considered an ominous threat. July 29th would be the anniversary of the Loria Valenti shooting. Breslin notified the police, who thought that the letter was possibly from someone with knowledge in the shootings. Fucking duh.
Obviously.
The Breslin letter was sophisticated in its wording and presentation, especially when it's compared to the fucking first letter, which is like manic rambling. And police suspected that it might have been created in an art studio or still in professional location by someone with expertise in printing, calligraphy, or graphic design. The unusual writing caused the police to speculate that the killer was a comic book letterer, and they actually went over to DC Comics nonetheless and showed it to them, and they said, "Can you recognize this?" And they cannot. And then the Wicked King Wicker reference caused the police to arrange a private screening of The Wicker Man, a 1973 horror movie, which I know for a fact is bullshit, because they're just like, it's just like these 4 detectives sitting in a theater. They're like, Tony, hold my fucking hand, dude. I'm so scared right now, Tony. And they're shaking. Like, they come out like, that movie was really good. And their chief is like, you get anything? And they're like, no, but you should have seen it. Like, there was a part. It just like begins to describe the movie. I don't know. I just find that very funny.
That is very funny.
The Daily News published the letter a week later, agreeing with police to withhold portions of the letter. Breslin urged the killer to surrender, obviously, and guess what? He fucking didn't. The dramatic article made that day's paper the highest selling edition in Daily News to date. More than 1.1 million copies were sold. It's a lot of newspapers.
Yeah.
Police received thousands of tips based on references and of publicized portions of the letter, which all proved to be absolutely a waste of fucking time, because you just know it was like some old lady like named like Dorothea who was like, I bet that was fucking Joey who wrote the letter because he never takes his fucking trash cans in because he's a goddamn scumbag. And they're like, all right, man, we'll go check it out. And they go there like, you the son of Sam? The guy's like, no. It's like, can we come in? Got a warrant? No. All right. And then they close the door. They're like, I know for a fact I wasn't the son of Sam. You know what I could tell?
Huh.
Face isn't shaped like a bowling pin. No.
They just knew. Like,
And-
they knew.
They-
Like,
This
didn't
killed
know
it.
what he looked like, but they were like, you know, I've been thinking a lot about this case. All right, so it's weighing heavy on everyone's minds.
But what you don't see in this case, this man's not going to any bowling alleys.
I'm pretty sure. I have it as a gut feeling. This man's head is shaped like a bowling pin.
Yeah. Chief, I got an idea, okay? I think we go to a bowling alley, okay? We get a pitcher of beer. We stake it out. Maybe have a pizza, right? We bowl a little bit. Just to see.
Yeah, it sounds like to me you are asking for a bowling party.
No.
A work bowling party.
Absolutely not.
I don't believe you.
It's all about the investigation.
No. See, listen, I let the Wicker Man slide, right? This one time. Pretty sure you're just asking to go bowling as a team.
Now, Chief, listen. All right. I'm gonna do this as from man to man to you, okay?
Mm-hmm.
As a New
Man to man.
Man to man, as a New Yorker, okay?
Yeah.
Come on, hey.
Listen, I let the Wicker Man slide. That's all I can do.
You said no. You said we're not doing it, guys. No. You can take your bags back to the car. No, he's not gonna let us do it.
Collective, like, groans in the background.
Shit. The guy's like taking his bowling glove off. He's like, fuck. It's so funny, dude. So police, like I said, they received thousands of tips. All of them were useless. As all of the shooting victims today had long dark hair. Thousands of women in New York City acquired short hair, brightly colored dyes, and beauty supply stores had trouble meeting demand for wigs.
Man.
Yeah.
Wild.
And they're like, oh, Tortilla, you gotta, what the fuck you wearing on your head? She's like, it's rat fur. just mixing it up. They're fucking everywhere. We just started skinning them. It looks good. I like it. I like the new look.
I just thought it would work. You know, he's looking for long dark hair. I got very, very short brown hair.
Yeah.
all just right here. And I think that might be enough. Keep him away from me. Because who's gonna come up to a woman wearing rat skins on her head?
That's true.
Not the son of Sam.
I don't know, dude. Maybe. Never know.
It's not him.
So we have gone a significant amount of time without a shooting. Right? And we finally get to June 26, 1977. Which, again, we have another shooting. Salvador Lupo, mechanics helper, and Dewey Placido. Jesus Christ, my fucking brain's falling apart. A recent high school graduate had left Effon's nightclub in the Bay Side of Queens, and we're sitting in Lupo's car around 3 a.m. when 3 gunshots blast through the vehicle. Lupo was wounded in the right arm, while Plico was shot in the right temple, shoulder, and back of the neck. Both victims survived their injuries.
Wow.
Lupo told police that they'd been discussing the Son of Sam case only moments prior to the shooting.
Which is wild.
Which is fucking horrifying.
Yeah.
That is like so scary, because you're like, she was, probably spooked,
Yeah.
And he's like, don't worry, babe, I got you. It'll be all right. Like, nothing's gonna happen. It's like, I'm just worried about Son of Sam. And then fucking rounds start ripping through your car. Like, whoa.
Yeah.
It's literally the worst timing possible.
Yeah.
Again, neither victim had saw their attacker, but 2 witnesses reported a tall, dark-haired man in a leisure suit fleeing from the area. One claimed to have seen him in a car and even provided a partial license plate. With the first anniversary of the initial .44 caliber shootings approaching, police established a sizable dragnet that emphasizes past hunting grounds in Queens and the Bronx. However, the next and final .44 caliber shooting occurs in Brooklyn.
So.
Because he fucking knew.
Yeah.
He knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah, he changed it up a couple times. Like, it is wild to me that they didn't have a net, because he had a killing in Brooklyn before too, didn't he?
He had I think it's when he stabbed that lady. I want to say it was that.
And so they just were like, probably won't happen again.
Yeah, I mean it's I don't know. It's very weird. Like it's almost like he knew what they were gonna do, before they even knew what they were gonna do, and it definitely seems like he was playing them in a sense.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, they're gonna be over here looking, waiting, and I almost wonder if he did it as, I'm trying to think of I don't have a lack of a better term, but like overfished a pond, essentially. Where he was like, I've killed a lot over here. Now I should go kill over here instead.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was just that, or I don't know.
I think he just changed it up to throw them off, because it was working initially,
Yeah. But
I don't know.
But early on July 31st, 1977, Secretary Stacy Moskowitz and clothing salesman Robert Violante were sitting in Violante's car, which was parked under a streetlight near in the city park in Bath Beach on their first date, nonetheless. They were kissing, having a nice, cute moment on their first date, when a man approached within 3 feet, 90 centimeters for those of you out there, of the passenger side of the car, and fires 4 rounds, striking both victims in the head before he escaped in the park. Valente lost his left eye, and Moskowitz, the only victim of the Berkowitz that was blonde, died of her injuries. That night, Detective John Falotico was awakened in his home. Phone rings. He answers, and he is told to report to the 10th Homicide Division at the 60th Precinct Station in-house in Coney Island. He was given 2 weeks to work on the case as a normal murder investigation, which I feel like is fucking super short.
Yeah, that is
2
really
weeks.
short.
You have 2 weeks to solve all the fucking murder. No information. Go solve this murder in 2 weeks. But if he could not solve it in that time frame, it was to be given to the Son of Sam task force that was just recently created.
He got himself a whole task force.
So local resident Calcia Davis was walking her dog around the scene of the Moskowitz-Valente shooting when she saw patrol officer Michael Catanillo ticketing a car that was parked near a fire hydrant. So the officer leaves. She's hanging out with her dog, probably waiting for her to take a dump. as most dogs do.
Yes.
A young woman walks past her from the area of the car and a young man walked past her from the area and seems to study her with some interest. Davis felt concerned because he was holding some sort of dark object in his hand. She ran to her home, only to hear 4 shots fired behind her in the street. Davis remained silent about the experience for 4 days until she finally contacted police, who closely checked every single car that had been ticketed in the area that night. And one of the cars that they checked, or ticketed that night, was a 1970 Ford Galaxy that was yellow that belonged to none other than David Berkowitz. This is when the house of cards begins to fall.
See, I feel like yellow is such a obvious color.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, wasn't Bundy's bug yellow?
Yeah, I think yellow was more popular back then.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like yellow is a very it's
I don't
not
know.
like
It's
the
a very distinctive standout color. If you're trying to blend in, you're not going to want to be in a fucking yellow vehicle.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like-
we think of it in a modern age. If we saw a yellow car, I'd be like, I saw a yellow car. It was really weird.
Yeah.
But maybe back then it was just common.
But
I
that's
don't
just
think it was
something. I
as
think it's just
common.
something
But
even that catches your eye.
Yeah, yellow catches your eye more
And
than a blue car.
That's why cabs were yellow.
That's true. But
Why what?
That's why cabs were yellow. So they're
Yeah.
easy to spot,
yeah, but you also got to remember this is fucking Brooklyn. This is there are yellow cars fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because of the cab.
Taxis,
But, I don't.
the yellow car gang down on 6th Street, 6th Ave.
I definitely think it was not as popular of a car color compared to other colors.
I don't know. I have no idea. I'm not a historian of car color.
Well,
Why
I am and it's
not?
not. I am and it's not. Okay.
Marty's on my
I'm a
team.
historian of car colors and it's not.
Marty's starting fights with me.
All right. You guys want to fucking do this?
No, I just feel like it wasn't very common then. Other colors were more popular. Yellow was probably still blue.
Yeah, it said
Blue
in
is the most
from 1971 to 1979, one of every 4 cars on the road was blue.
Wow. Okay, so
Interesting.
I see nothing of
Yeah.
yellow in here. I see nothing about yellow in here.
Okay.
Well, see, I just feel like it wasn't as popular. It was more common, but it catches your eye more than a blue one is, obviously, because it says every 1 in 4 cars. So.
Yeah. This is the most obscure question, so it's just not. They're like, what the fuck are you?
Your
are you-
FBI agent has a lot of
They're
questions
like,
right now.
yeah, well, it's like, are you stimming right now? I'm like, no.
I just want to know about yellow cars. I want to know about 70s
I don't want
car
to
colors.
talk about it. So anyway, they find that his car got ticketed. So on August 9th, 1977, NYPD Detective James Justice phones the Yonkers Police Department and goes, "Hey, we want to set up an interview with Berkowitz." Yonkers police dispatcher who took Drew's car was Wheat Carr, the daughter of Sam Carr and the sister of Berkowitz's alleged cult confederates, John and Michael Carr, which I excluded from this entire story because I feel like it's not as relevant.
I don't. I think he was on his own.
Yeah. And for those who are pissy and like, why didn't you add that? Well, you'll see in a bit why I didn't add it when I begin to explain who these people are actually, in a way.
Yeah.
Especially like Sam Carr, which Sam, okay, yeah, whatever. As soon as Justice mentioned the name David Berkowitz to Wheat, she said, "Let me tell you about him. I know him. He lives right behind me." She also informed Justice that Berkowitz had shot and wounded their black Labrador Retriever Harvey, and that Harvey was the father Sam's dog. When Justice heard Sam, he had a very good feeling that Berkowitz was the culprit they were looking for. And if I go back a little bit here to his letter, when he starts describing himself, it's in the second letter, I want to say. He says John Wheaties, and like John, and then there's Wheat.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. It's very.
It doesn't say in there? You talk about the dog, but I don't think we covered it. We know we talked about it in the last recording. Attempt, but we were talking about how David Berkowitz thought that dog was telling him to kill.
Well,
right?
That actually comes in later on.
Oh, does it?
It does.
Oh.
Yeah, it does come in later on.
Well.
Spoiler. But yeah, we'll get to it. We'll cross that dog bridge when we come to. I don't know. We'll cross. Yeah. Anyway, Justice asked Yonkers police to help for information tracking down Berkowitz. According to Mike Novotny, Yonkers police sergeant, the department had their own suspicions about Berkowitz in a connection to strange crimes in their jurisdiction, which were referred to in one of the Son of Sam letters. Yonkers investigators then told Justice that Berkowitz might in fact be the Son of Sam.
Possibly, maybe.
Like, listen, he's a fucking weirdo. All right, come out here and go look at this guy. Come out here and point guns at this guy. So the following day, August 10th, 1977, police investigated Berkowitz's car. This part kind of rubs me the wrong way a little bit. Like, it is, in the end, it is good how this works out. But at the same time, it's like, this part kind of got me kind of TO'd. Police investigates Berkowitz's car parked outside of his apartment building at 35 Pine Street in Yonkers. They look in the window and they see a gun in the back seat. So they essentially break into the car. I don't know if it was unlocked or not, but they search the car. They find a duffel bag filled with ammunition, maps of crime scenes, and threatening letter addressed to Inspector Timothy Down of the Son of Sam Task Force. Police waited for Berkowitz to leave the apartment rather than risk a violent confrontation in the building's narrow hallway. They also waited to detain a search warrant for the apartment, but they didn't get a search warrant for his vehicle.
Yeah, which
I don't know if that was maybe it was a law they added later on that they have to get a search warrant for vehicles. I'm not quite sure.
Maybe that, or there might have been like additional stipulations to like.
I don't know. It's
certain things. I don't fucking know, but they pulled a risk, on the chance that all the evidence that they found being thrown out.
Yeah, totally.
They made a big risk.
Well, they were also worried that, like, if they went and searched the apartment without a search warrant, they were worried that the search might be challenged in court.
Yeah.
And the initial search of the vehicle was based on the handgun that was visible in the back seat.
Right.
Right? Which...
It was a handgun that was legal to own in New York, right?
Yeah, because you required no special permit to own a handgun and have it in your person, on you, in your vehicle, whatever. Yeah. There was no fucking permit back then. And they essentially like broke into this dude's car in order to because of the handgun. It's very
It's I feel like a very legal gray area for that time.
Yeah. And
I feel like nowadays it definitely would have been challenged and would not have been able to be put in court.
Yeah, I agree. So the warrant had still not arrived when Berkowitz exited the apartment building about 10 p.m. and entered his car. Presumably, probably getting ready to go hunting again.
Yeah.
I assume. So
Drop
David...
off that letter and then...
Yeah, I mean, probably. Yeah, he's like, I gotta go to the post office. I gotta go post office. I gotta drop off this letter. I gotta do that. I'm gonna go down, get a fucking bagel from the bodega. Get a nice spread on that shit, right?
It's called a schmear.
Oh, get a schmear. Oh, hate that. And then I'm probably gonna go kill about 2 more people, I assume, is what he was thinking. He had a checklist in his head. Anyway, Detective John Falatico does the most gangster shit in this entire story. He walks up to the driver's side of Berkowitz's car, pulls his .38 out and points it and gets it about just a few inches away from Berkowitz's temple. Just right there. Bears down on him. While Detective Sergeant William Gardella points his gun from the passenger side. A paper bag containing a .44 caliber bulldog revolver of the type was identified. A ballistic test was found next to Berkowitz in the car. Berkowitz then stated flatly, and in the most chilling fucking way possible, just goes, "Well, you got me."
I hate it.
Dude,
I hate everything about that.
It's fucking so creepy. As described in Son of Sam, in a book by Lawrence D. Klausner, Falatika remembered the big, inexplicable smile on his face.
Ugh.
So he just has this big smile on his face. And so Falatika goes, now that I've got you, who do I got? And he just goes, you know. The man said, and what the detective remembered, his soft, almost sweet voice. He goes, no, you tell me. And the man just goes, turns his head and goes, I'm Sam. Just looking down the barrel of a gun. I'm Sam. And he goes, you're Sam? Sam who? And he goes, Sam. David Berkowitz. Which is just fucking horrifying.
It is horrifying.
Because imagine you're pointing a gun at a dude's face, at his fucking head. You're inches away from him, and he just turns and he looks down the barrel and looks you in the eyes and he goes, I'm Sam, David Berkowitz. And you're like, you're fucking scary.
Yeah.
I don't like you.
Terrifying.
Yeah, it's super scary. Alternate versions claim that Berkowitz's first words are reported to be, well, you got me. How come it took you such a long time? Falatika was officially credited by the NYPD as the arresting officer of Son of Sam. Police then searches David Berkowitz's apartment, and they make entry, and they find it in complete disarray. Even more fun is that the walls are fucking covered in satanic graffiti.
Yeah.
So, I think you were right before when he said that when like the news were like he might think he's possessed by the devil, is that he read that in the paper and was like, maybe I am possessed by the devil.
Yeah, I think
He kind of leans into it
with the whole satanic panic thing. I think he just.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think he spiraled, and they added fuel to the fire.
Yeah.
And he was like, that just makes a lot of sense. I guess I'm possessed by the devil, and just got it in his head. And you say it enough times, you're gonna believe it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That kind of like thing. You're just
fake it till you make it.
Yeah. No.
Kind of, but it's kind of like when we talked about when we did Richard Ramirez.
Yeah.
Right. And how Richard Ramirez like he had all these things where he was saying he was doing like satanic practices in the cemetery at night and shit, and it started getting people all freaked out. So he fucking carved that pentagram into his hand, and the first thing he did when he went into court was just like hold up his hand to show the pentagram, just to freak everybody out, because he fucking knew what it was.
He knew it would freak everyone out.
I don't think that Berkowitz was doing this to freak people out. I think he was doing it because he was fucking out of his mind.
I think he genuinely thought that.
He thought that like he was like, maybe I am possessed.
And then just like leaned into it hardcore. Because I mean, enough suggestion to somebody who is manic, as he is, and likely a unmedicated paranoid schizophrenic. They're going to, end up believing that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's kind of like the guy who lived underneath my neighbor's car when I lived in Vancouver. He thought he was a dog.
I've never fucking heard this story.
Yeah.
And I'm so...
He's a really nice guy.
Never did I think I would hear the words, yeah, that's like the guy who used to live under my neighbor's car. Like, it just...
I know it sounds like...
It threw me for a fucking loop.
I know it sounds like I'm doing a bit, but that's a genuine thing. I used to be terrified of that guy. Because he lived underneath the neighbor's car. And then he would come out and he would like bark and shit and like yell at me, and then I was really scared of him. And then like one day I heard a knock on my door, and there was this very nice, well-kept man there, and he goes like, I don't know if you remember me, but I was living underneath their car. And I was like, yeah, man, what's up? Like, you're fucking, that's terrifying. He goes, yeah, I was actually diagnosed with schizophrenia, and now I'm being medicated, and just wanted to apologize if I ever, was rude to you or scared you or anything. And I was like,
you fucking scared me all the fucking time.
Yeah, it's like, you're good, man. But I was like, you're fucking so scary, dude. You're so scary.
I never heard that story. And so those words, most stories that you tell on the podcast, I know about. And they don't,
yeah,
they don't do anything. But that one I had to like stop for a minute.
Yeah, and he was
words you were saying.
He was the son of the people that lived there.
Okay.
He was transient, so he was homeless.
Yeah.
But they were like, "You come live with us," and he's like, "I'm just gonna live underneath the car." It was like an SUV, but he's like, "I'm gonna live underneath it."
That sounds so uncomfortable.
Yeah. Well, he was it was like 100 degrees, and he was just laying underneath there. It's really
That sounds awful.
It's a story for the doc, but they also found diaries that he kept since he was the age of 21. 3 stenographer notebooks, nearly all full, wherein Berkowitz meticulously noted hundreds of arsons he had claimed to have been set in New York City. Some sources speculate that this number might be over 1,400.
Now,
1,400 arsons.
Did he actually set these fires, or?
I think dude.
Right.
Do you know? I think we might have talked about this. Do you know the fucking rate of like arsons, like of like conviction rate versus like they?
It's not very like. People don't get caught very often, do they?
Dude, only like 10% of arsons are ever like truly like attributed to an arsonist.
Yeah.
And only like 5% of all arsons ever have convictions, or like 2%. It's so fucking low.
I imagine
it's horrifying. It's horrifying.
I imagine it was worse in the 70s, but I mean, I almost wonder like if he actually said all those, or if he just
fucking probably
thought
he got a lot of free time on his hands.
That's fair.
You know, he's like, my arm sure hurt from fucking spraying painting my walls with satanic graffiti and killing people.
Yeah.
Time to go light some fires. I assume is probably his mindset. Soon after Berkowitz's arrest, though, the apartment that he was living in, they changed from 35 Pine to 42 Pine to attempt to end its notoriety. Berkowitz was briefly held in Yonkers Police Station before being transported to the 60th Precinct in Coney Island, where the Son of Sam task force was located. At about 1 a.m., Mayor Beam arrived to see the suspect personally.
Oh.
And so he walks in, and Son of Sam is just sitting there, and they just have a fucking staring contest. Well, he just looks at him, Son of Sam looks back at him, and they say nothing to one another.
Ugh.
Mayor turns back around, walks back outside, and goes to the meeting, goes, the people of the city of New York can rest easy because of the fact that the police have captured a man who they believe to be the Son of Sam. Which in reality, he was like, that's definitely a fucking serial killer. Look at that guy.
That's definitely one.
So, Berkowitz was interrogated for 30 minutes in the early morning of August 11, 1977. He quickly confessed to the shootings and expressed interest in pleading guilty. The investigation was led by John Keenan, who took the confession. During questioning, Berkowitz claimed that his neighbor's dog was the reason that he started to kill, stating that the dog demanded the blood of pretty young girls. He said that the Sam mentioned the first letter was his former neighbor, Sam Carr.
Yeah.
Who, his daughter was the one who tipped off police to all this.
Right.
And that Harvey, Carr's black Labrador retriever, was possessed by an ancient demon which issued irresistible commands that Berkowitz go out and kill people.
I definitely think it was a good trifecta in a sense of maybe he didn't think that he was possessed by the devil, but the dog certainly was possessed by a demon, and that
he had to listen.
You know.
Spirit's possessed by a demon, but it only tells us to give her treats.
That demon requests chicken hearts.
Freeze-dried chicken, please. Like, why can't a demon just do that? That's cute. It's how Marty's dog is a skinwalker, but we don't say anything about it.
Yeah, he's got some very human eyes.
Dude, that dog is definitely a skinwalker, dude.
Yeah, maybe.
Probably.
Allegedly.
Dude, he's definitely a skinwalker, dude, but he's definitely enjoying his life too much.
Yeah.
He's like, this is great.
He's like, I could turn back in and I could kill all of them. But instead, I'm going to sit at the basement door and wait for the cat.
Yeah.
He loves the cat.
Marty's dog will just stand at the basement steps where, like, because we live down the basement. And he'll just stand at the basement door and just wait for the cat to, like,
for hours.
He fucking loves the cat. He doesn't do anything.
He gets so excited when he receives it. It's so funny.
But when the paw comes out, it's like a piece of candy for him. He's like,
so excited.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And then he settles back down. He just
so funny.
Waits.
Anyways, let's get back on track. After a few weeks after his capture, Berkowitz was permitted to communicate with the press. In a letter to the New York Post dated September 19, 1977, he he said to his original Jesus Christ, my fucking brain's falling apart. It's too late. He basically said that the original story he had demonic possession, but closed with a warning that had been interpreted by some investigators as an admission of accomplices, saying that there are other sons out there. God help the world. At a press conference in February of 1979, however, Berkowitz declared that the previous claims of demonic possession were a hoax. Gotcha, bitches.
Do you think he was trying to convince the public? And I know the jury is not supposed to like look at the media, but you know they end up seeing things anyways.
Yeah.
You know, they turn on the TV at home and there he is.
Yeah.
Do you think he was trying to convince mental like insanity? Like that he was trying to convince them that he wasn't.
Hold on to that thought.
Okay, we haven't gotten this far, so this is all news to me. This is all fun, not fun. This is all like
interesting.
New things.
Yes. Berkowitz later stated in a series of meetings with his court-appointed psychiatrist David Abrahamson that he had long Jesus Christ, I'm fucking falling apart so late. It's 8 o'clock at night. He had long contemplated murder to get revenge on a world he felt had rejected him. So, we get to sentencing where 3 separate mental health examinations determined that Berkowitz was competent to stand trial. Despite this, defense lawyers advised Berkowitz to enter a plea of not guilty by the reason of insanity, but he refused, like a fucking crazy person would.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah. Berkowitz appeared calm in court on May 8th, 1978, as he pleaded guilty to all of the shootings. At his sentencing 2 weeks later, Berkowitz caused an uproar when he attempted to jump out of a window of the 7th floor courtroom. He was quickly restrained and repeatedly chanted, "Stacy," his last victim. "Stacy was a whore." Just shouts that over and over again. And he goes, "I'd kill her again. I'd kill them all again."
Oh.
Which is fucking super scary. Because he wasn't like, David Berkowitz was, shit, he fucking, how tall was he? He was a pretty, I think he was a pretty heavy set guy too. He was a kind of he's a meteor lad.
Yeah.
Pretty spooky. The court ordered another psychiatric examination before sentencing could proceed. During the evaluation, Berkowitz drew a sketch of a jailed man surrounded by numerous walls and wrote at the bottom, "I am not well at all." Nonetheless, Berkowitz was again found competent to stand trial.
I
don't think so, dude.
I really don't think he was.
No.
Granted, they might have just been like, fuck it. He's competent to stand trial. Meanwhile, he's like having a fucking breakdown in the corner.
Yeah, he's just like, we just having public outbursts. It's fucking insane. And on June 12th, 1978, Berkowitz was sentenced to 25 years to life in prison for each murder to be served consecutively. He was ordered to serve time at the Attica Correctional Facility, a supermax prison in upstate New York. Despite prosecutors' objections, the terms of Berkowitz's guilty plea made him eligible for parole in 25 years.
Fuck that. No.
Yeah. Pretty spooky.
I hate the justice system sometimes.
Yeah, dude.
Like, to be like, yeah, you murdered 6 people, attempted to murder 7, and he can get out in 25 years?
Yeah, so that means he would have been eligible for parole in 2003. Yeah, isn't that fucked up?
He's not fucking mentally stable enough to be released.
No. After his arrest, Berkowitz was initially confined to a psychiatric ward in Kings County Hospital, where the staff reported he seemed remarkably troubled by his new environment. Fucking surprise. He goes, everybody's so mean to me. They always come up and they take my fruit cup and then they shit in their hand and throw it at me. I don't like it. I don't know if that actually happened, but it's a funny thought. On the day of his sentencing, he was taken to Sing Sing prison, which is the upstate Clinton Correctional Facility. Which is a Sing Sing prison is a prison just like outside of New York. It's one of the most like notorious prisons. It's not a very good place. Then he was taken to the upstate, the Clinton Correctional Facility for psychiatric and physical examinations. 2 more months were spent at the Central New York Psychiatric Center in Marcy before his admission to the Attica prison.
Attica is pretty well known too.
Yeah, the Sing Sing is fucking terrifying.
I believe it.
Berkowitz served about a decade in Attica until he was relocated circa 1990 to Sullivan Correctional Facility in Fallsburg, where he remained for many years. Later, he was transferred to the Schwagnunk Correctional Facility in Ulster County. Berkowitz described his life at Attica Correctional Facility as a, quote, nightmare. Fucking
surprise!
Boo-hoo, you fucking little bitch.
Good.
Yeah. In 1979, there was an attempt on Berkowitz's life in which his left side of his neck was slashed from front to back, resulting in a wound that required more than 50 stitches to close. Berkowitz refused to identify his assailant and claimed that he was grateful for the attack. It brought a sense of justice, or in Berkowitz's own word, the punishment I deserve.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, he deserved it.
Yeah. In 1978, Berkowitz became a evangelical Christian
Of course
in prison.
he did.
According to his personal testimony, from the conversion occurred while reading Psalm 34:6 from the Bible, giving him by a fellow inmate. He says that he is no longer referred to as the Son of Sam, but the Son of Hope.
Fuck you.
God bless.
Listen, becoming a Christian does not fix all the fucking things you've done. That's not how it works.
He would,
none of it.
Dude, if he would say that shit to us and we were like a fucking parole board, dude, he would not go anywhere. You're a witch, I'm a Satanist. He would be like, okay, Son of Hope, have fun getting stabbed again.
Like, truthfully, like,
yeah, you fucking idiot.
You see it even outside of like this sort of situation where people are like, I became a Christian and I'm great again.
The next sentence I'm about to read you is also like an insane sentence. Okay, soon after his imprisonment, Berkowitz invited Malachi Martin, an exorcist, to help him compose an autobiography, but the guy was like, no, I'm not going to do that. During the later years, Berkowitz developed his memoirs with assistance from fellow evangelicals. His statements were released as a 1998 interview, Son of Hope, with more extensive work being released in book form entitled Son of Hope, The Prison Journals of David Berkowitz in 2006. Berkowitz does not receive any royalties or profit from the sales of work. He has continued to write essays on faith and repentance for evangelical websites. A website maintained on Berkowitz's behalf by a church group. Since he is not allowed to access the computer, Berkowitz stays involved with the prison ministry and regularly counsels troubled inmates. Imagine being counseled by fucking the goddamn Son of Sam. That'd be fucked, dude. Like, it's like, say like you're familiar with true crime, you go to prison and you're just like, I don't know, man, like I'm just having a hard time praying right now and I just need someone to talk to. I'm just kind of losing grip on things, and then like some guy sits down and he's just like, hey, don't worry about it, I'm the Son of Sam. And you're like, no, you stay the fuck away from me. Like, absolutely not. And
I also can't help but feel like changing his thing from the Son of Sam to the Son of Hope is nothing but a big fat fucking slap in the face to all of his victims.
Oh yeah, totally.
His victims' families and everyone who is affected by that. Like, that is just a big fucking slap in the face.
Absolutely.
It's disgusting.
Yeah. Just why can't he pull a Gacy and just be a fucking scumbag till the end? You know? Like how Gacy was, where he was like, they were like, do you have any last words? And he's like, fuck you. And then they fucking just fry him, dude. Like, just scumbag till the end, but he's like, I'm the son of hope now. It's like, nah, you're the son of Sam, dude. You're a serial killer and a psychopath. Fuck you.
Yeah, I feel like that's absolutely
dude, I know.
disgusting.
Don't get me started on, dude. The Medicam's gonna come back out. So while in prison, like while in the Sullivan facility specifically, he pursued education and not only he graduated. I can't talk right now.
Graduated.
Thank you. With honors from Sullivan Community College.
Huh.
He's a smart guy.
Yeah.
It just is a shame that he decided to, be a serial killer.
Mm-hmm.
So Berkowitz is entitled to a parole hearing every 2 years as mandated by state law, though he has consistently refused to ask for his release, sometimes skipping the hearings altogether. Before his first parole hearing in 2002, Berkowitz sent a letter to the New York Governor George Pataki, requesting that it be canceled. He wrote, "In all honesty, I believe I deserve to be in prison for the rest of my life. I have, with God's help, long ago come to terms with my situation. I have accepted my punishment," which is weirdly noble.
Yeah.
In a weird way. Officials at the Sullivan facility rejected his request. So they're like, we're gonna go through it with it anyway, and do your parole hearing because it's mandated. So we're gonna do it anyway. In 2016, at a hearing in Shawangunk, New York, Berkowitz stated that while parole was unrealistic, he felt he had improved himself behind bars, adding, "I feel I am no risk whatsoever." Fucking doubt. His lawyer, Mark Hellier, noted that prison staff considered Berkowitz to be a model prisoner. Great. Commissioners denied the parole. His next parole hearing is scheduled for May of 2024.
Oh, Jesus.
Maybe this time, David. Maybe.
That's crazy.
Maybe, champ.
Probably not.
Dude, what if he got out, dude? It'd be crazy.
I think letting him out would cause more of a riot than anything.
Yeah. I have some more in here. It just kind of, we briefly talk about the satanic claims, but he, in 2002, during the DC sniper attacks, which is something I do want to cover for the podcast, Berkowitz wrote a letter telling the sniper to stop hurting innocent people, which is painfully ironic. He made comments in a 3-page letter to Fox News personality Rita Crosby after she wrote him seeking his comment for the sniper attacks. In 2005, Berkowitz sued one of his previous lawyers for misappropriation of a large number of letters, photographs, and other personal possessions. Dude was just kind of like, I don't know. I just find that, again, another slap in the face of him.
Yeah.
Fucking doing that bullshit. But as for right now, David Berkowitz is still alive at the ripe age of 70 years old. He is still in prison.
Good.
Obviously, but we'll see what happens in May.
I don't think he's gonna out.
Dude, I fucking hope not. Or March or whatever it was.
May.
Yeah, fucking Jesus Christ. I hope he doesn't get out. Because I honestly think if he got out, he would not survive very long.
No, I don't think so. I think someone would take care of him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just some fucking vengeful family member dude comes out and just like, yeah, I'll kill this guy. I'll be out in 25 years.
Yeah.
Whatever. And that's what I got. I didn't go into the claims of satanic stuff. But it's not as fun.
It's mainly because they weren't.
It's basically the crux of it was like they need blood in order for sacrifices and shit, and they need the souls. It's typical satanic panic bullshit.
Yeah.
But as a fellow Satanist myself, you know what our ritual is?
What?
We drink beer and we play video games and we don't talk to people. That's it. That's our ritual. Isn't that fun? That's Satanism. It's just diet atheism.
Yeah.
It's great.
I feel
It's atheism but edgy.
I feel like if anything, I qualify as agnostic because I don't know. Maybe there's something out there. Maybe there's not. I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm just vibing. I'm just doing shit for me at this point.
Well, I don't want to ask if anybody had fun, but did you guys find that interesting?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Berkowitz is a special guy.
Yeah.
Son of Sam.
It's fucking wild.
Yeah. But when you knowing that it was the dog that, well, allegedly it was a dog telling him to kill people, when he says like, Sam ties me up out back, Sam throws me in the garage, like shit like that, and you're like, it's talking about the fucking dog.
Yeah.
Watching them fuck with this dog while Sam Carr is drunk and like just like, get out of the fucking side, dog, you know,
Yeah.
whatever. I don't know, pretty spooky.
It is pretty spooky.
I don't really have anything very much. If you saw us at Fan Expo and you're watching this podcast right now, hi. It's very nice to see you again. And you get a sticker from us. We have plenty of stickers left. Maybe I gotta set up like a street team or something like that. I'll figure that out by like next week probably. And if not, then wait another week. And then if not, then just forget about it altogether. Go check out the doc. I am working to get the latest episode of the doc out. It's been a very chaotic past few days, I would say.
We had a gnarly winter storm hit the Northwest.
We did. We certainly did.
Yeah, it was awful.
I was supposed to go to the dog show all 4 days. Ended up having to not go Friday because of fucking ice everywhere.
Yeah, we just worked in it.
Yeah.
Well, it's mostly melting off now.
Yeah.
Finally, after a fucking week of being iced in our homes.
Yeah. Fucking Elsa, dude, that bitch. But thank you so much for joining us. Be sure to rate us 5 stars on your listening apps. Like, share, subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, HGOPodcast, TikTok at HGOPodcast, email us at HGOPodcast@gmail.com. If you have a story you want to tell, or just a topic, or you just want to just say, fuck you, just go to email us right there, HGOPodcast@gmail.com. If you want to follow me directly, you can at I Hunt the Haunted on Instagram. I'll start posting more, I promise. Okay?
Hi. You can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Lunar Thrill. You can also follow Spirit at Spirit the Turd.
Spirit the Turd.
On Instagram. I'll get some photos out from this past weekend. In a couple days-ish, maybe a week or two, I will have some photos of her and her sister that we got done today. They're going to be so cute. I'm so excited. I'm going to spend way too much money on photos.
It's, yeah, very cute.
I'm very excited.
Yeah.
Because we got professional photos done.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Yeah.
And I'm so excited to see how they turned out because she was showing them on her camera. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to post those.
Yeah. Spirit the Turf. Go check it out. Marty.
You can not follow me on Instagram unless I say so because I'm feeling edgy right now.
Ooh, damn.
Yeah.
Marty Cowick likes the edge.
I love me some edging.
You also didn't say anything.
You fall Matt, get a feather. Remember to stay spooky.
Stay haunted.
And now, Chief, listen. I know you said no to bowling.
Yeah.
Okay. I know you said no to stakeouts. No stakeouts at the bowling alley.
Right.
What if you're my Valentine instead?
You know, listen. You're really sounding like David Berkowitz right now.
Fuck! All right, bye.
Bye.